Hey everybody, it's Scott Beebe. Welcome in on a Friday afternoon, a little flash webinar here for those of you who are still around and you're still trying to labor away working in your business, and we're here to help liberate you from the chaos of working in your business, and instead we want to help you work on your business. And so I thought what we would do this afternoon is we had a huge success story recently, and it was a small business owner who's a contractor who actually took his small business and created and turned it into a profitable small business within a couple of weeks. Now, he had cash flow, so this is not going to be a webinar about how to generate revenue. All right, that's another discussion. But this is a webinar about how to generate profit from the revenue that you have. So let's dive right into what we've got going on. So how do you become profitable by next week? All right, how do we become profitable by next week? Well, we always want to start with a powerful question. And so one of the most powerful questions we can ask ourselves is, how much is it costing me in profit to just rely on the net income statement? So a lot of us, we look at a net income statement, and our CPA or a financial professional will tell us, hey, well, look, it says here that you're making $27,000 or $3,000 or $300,000. And we look at that, and then we look at our bank account and we go, but those don't equal, because it's a snapshot in time and it really doesn't make sense. And let's be honest, a lot of small business owners, we don't really understand what the net income statement is, what the balance sheet is, how those two things go together, and how we're supposed to leverage those on a day-to-day basis. But here's what we do understand. We understand cash in the bank. And if there's cash in the bank to pay the IRS, if there's cash in the bank to pay payables, if there's cash in the bank to do payroll, if there's cash in the bank to generate more business and business development, we get that. We get that. But there's another question we need to ask as well, is how much is it costing me in profit to just make random owner draws? See, many of you are generating revenue and you're making owner draws off the revenue, but you still have no idea what your profit is. All right? And so we've got to build a system. We've got to build a structure to where it becomes very predictable as to in terms of what your profit is currently and what it will be moving forward. Because how in the world are you supposed to make investment in your business? How are you supposed to make investment in your family if you don't know what you can expect in the future? And so we've got to be looking at these. Are you going to be able to nail this down to 100% science? Of course not. But many of you want to be more charitable. You want to give. You want to invest more in people. And this is a great way that you can go in and start to do it. All right, hopefully this, we won't get kicked off again, but if you missed the first part of this, go back to the previous Facebook Live and make sure that you check that out. We've got to ask ourselves the question, how much is it costing me in a profit just to make random owner draws? So how do we become profitable as long as you're generating revenue within just a couple of weeks? And again, we've got a couple of small business owners who have recently done this, made this transition. So I want to walk you through one real life example of this right now. So here's a contractor company, $1.2 million in annual revenue. And after we set up exactly what I'm about to show you here quickly, they were able to realize over a period of a few months $200,000 in real profit, literally sitting in a bank account that they can actually see, not on a net income statement, not on a balance sheet. And so they started to put this in, and they didn't generate the $200,000 in 2 weeks. They started becoming profitable in 2 weeks. Although they had what we would classify as profit, they had never realized that profit on anything but a net income statement and also these random owner draws, which creates chaos. And our whole purpose is to liberate you from chaos. So how can we get clarity and consistency in your finances, particularly around this idea of profitability? I want to tell you that the entire discussion here in the next couple of minutes is based on the book by Mike Michalowicz called Profit First. And I'm going to show that to you here in just a minute. In fact, if you share this video, we're going to give that book away. Ship it straight to your house. One winner for somebody who shares this video. So we're going to be drawing your name out of the e-hat after we log off of this Facebook Live, and we will be in the next few days shipping you a book, the Profit First book by Mike Michalowicz. So let me show you how they came up with the profitability. They set up 6 accounts. Now, Michalowicz talks about an initial 5 accounts, and then he adds more down the road. But a contractor company, a lot of times you'll go for a 6th account. The first one is your all-income account. That's where 100% of all incoming dollars go, is into your all-income account. If you get a $1,000 check or a $50,000 check, if you get a retainage check, whatever you're getting in a contractor company, all of it goes in the all-income account. Then, if you're a contractor, you usually have a pretty good idea of what we call cost of goods sold or materials and subcontractors money is. That's money that's just passing hand from the customer to a third party, a vendor of some sorts. And so let's say that your overhead was 50%, or excuse me, your cost of goods sold was 50%. So what you do is you take 50% of this all income number and you would move it into the subs and material number every couple of weeks. Now Michalowicz recommends on the 10th and 25th of the month. Or you can do it like we do it every couple of weeks. And so every couple of weeks, we actually do it every 2 weeks, you would ship the percentage that you would normally pay to subs and materials. Again, if you're a contracting company, a lot of your businesses are not going to have this. But cost of goods sold, all that, whatever that number is, and you know what that is, generally, you're going to ship that in there to make sure you've got enough to cover that. Of what's remaining, that's where you're going to make a decision on the percentage to put in profit, owner's compensation, the tax bucket, and the operating expense account. And I want to repeat, all of these are separate bank accounts. Separate bank accounts. So if your current bank will not work with you on that, I'm sure they're great people, but you may need to get a new bank. And what we found in our experience is a lot of times the small community banks are really, really good at helping people do this. And so if you need to go look for a small community bank like we do here locally in our hometown, Atlantic Community Bank, they didn't bat an eye at this. In fact, they loved the idea. And so we set up 5 accounts for our business, but we don't have a lot of subs and materials. But if you do, if you're a contractor, then you may want to consider setting up that account. And these other accounts, basically, you put percentages on them. And there's a whole calculation to this. Find it in Michalowicz's book, Profit First. He lays it all out. But let's say that you wanted to contribute 8% of profit here. You decided you needed to be paid roughly, I'm just making numbers up, 12% here. Tax, you're going to be 15% of total revenue, right? And so that will equate to a higher level of tax rate of your actual taxable income. And then your operating expense account would be the remainder of what's there. And so you roll this stuff out. Every couple of weeks, you flush your all-income account out into these accounts, and you run your whole business off this operating account. You pay your taxes out of this account, out of your tax account. Let's see if I can move this here. There we go. You pay yourself out of the owner's comp. Even if you're a W-2 employee, just shift that money into your operating account, and it comes out in payroll. And then you put the rest in profit. And guys, that is profit. It's profit alone. It doesn't go to reinvestment. It doesn't go to payroll. It doesn't go to your salary. It doesn't go to tax. It is profit. It is the psychological thank you for putting in the risk as a small business owner, especially as a contractor, to take the risk to continue to run your business. And it's a great way to do it. Why does this work? Because this is the old way that we see money. Michalowicz calls the GAAP accounting model. Revenue minus expenses equal profit. The problem is when we see this, we put all the money in one bucket. We see a big number and we think it's spendable at that moment. And we know it's not. Some has to go to taxes. Some has to go to these other things. And so we know that this is a faulty model psychologically. It works on paper, but we struggle with it psychologically. And so if you want to see this laid out, make sure to get Profit First book. By the way, we're not paid by Michalowicz and his organization. All right, so we keep getting kicked off, but hopefully you've hung with us and have looked at the previous 2 Facebook Lives to see what we're talking about. And so make sure you gather Profit First. We're not paid by Profit First to talk about this. We've just seen massive transformation from a financial standpoint in some of these small businesses through this process. Now, here's our giveaway and what we're excited about. We're going to pick one person we're going to run this for about the next day or so. If you share this in the next 24 hours, your name's going to be put in a e-hat. We're going to pull your name out, and one person, we're actually going to ship a free copy of Michalowicz's Profit First right to you. All right? So go ahead and share this because there's a lot of small business owners, there's a lot of contractors who need this information. And we would so appreciate you being able to share that. Hey, while you're at it, head on over to our headquarters, mybusinessonpurpose.com/guide, and we've got an audit guide. If you need to determine whether or not you're working in or on your business as a small business owner, check it out, mybusinessonpurpose.com/guide. You can download a free PDF, no strings attached there, and go through and give yourself a self-audit. Let us know how we can serve you. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day and then a fantastic weekend. All right, guys, see you later.